Good morning, great world. How y'all doing on this fantastic day? I guess I can't really say that because I don't know what it's like where you live, but it's pretty nice here. Now, there's a couple things I just wanted to talk about really quick. First off, about procrastination. I made a video about that a couple weeks ago, and at that very time I was procrastinating on getting my tooth fixed because it was hurting like hell. And so I finally have an appointment this morning at 10 o'clock, so I'll be leaving here in about half an hour to go finally get that done. And it's like I have to live up to my own expectations of myself, as well as to live by the values that I try to speak about. And this is why, partly why I do these videos, is because I like to look back on them sometimes and say, wow, am I living up to the standards that I once perceived to be correct? Or have I changed the way I see that? And if I've changed it, maybe make another video explaining why I've changed my mind on a particular subject. And along that route, I've found resistance at times, not on YouTube, just in life in general, from the old, wishy-washy, changing your opinions kind of thing, what they call the flip-flopper in politics, which I've always revered as being integrity, to be able to change your mind when you find new paradigms. But all in all, I like to think that I have a pretty good grasp on what it means to be alive in my body in my life. Now, note the key words there. I like to think. It doesn't mean that I believe that what I know is correct. And that kind of leads me to the subject of this video, which is, how do we really know what's important? How do we really know who's for real? How do we really know who has a grasp on what's going on? And we don't. So what we do is we have to pick a little bit out from each person, each situation, and listen to what a person is saying. Listen to the intensity behind their words is a great way to see if a person really believes what they're saying, and that's all fine. But then we get to whether or not what a person's really saying is true. And between science and personal search, I think that there's a wall between science and truth that can't be reconciled, because science requires methods of searching that we don't necessarily... Get out of here, bees, man. Science requires a method of searching that needs solid evidence and proofs, and we don't always have those. And so the question comes, do we ever have them? Will we ever have a solid foundation to understand what's important? And not just in the matter of like us being alive or being, or where are we supposed to be doing, or why did we get here, those questions, but just even the simpler questions, like, is the electric universe theory valid, or is it not? Or do we really understand quantum non-locality or not? And there's a lot of folks who really believe that they have the true answers, and we have to sort through to say why. Why do we believe what we believe? And I know it seems like I'm beating a dead horse here, but I think it's really important, because it seems to be, to me, to be the most consuming thing for society in general, is trying to figure out exactly what it's all about, and we just don't know. And so when I listen to people talk, they may have an arrogant attitude about what they know, or they may seem condescending towards those who maybe haven't seen the truth or seen the light. And I think that's a non-progressive way to go about it. To remember that no matter how deep we get into searching, this is kind of where I wanted to get to, is it doesn't matter how much research we do, because the more you do, the more you're engulfed in that research, and you're missing living because you're too busy researching. If you're just embracing life and just living to the full potential, Some people say that that's the way to find the truth, just to live it, just to live. But then there's all kinds of little scientific endeavors and experiments that we could research that would tell us, oh, maybe this isn't true, or no, we've already found that isn't true. Being a person who does deep thinking, I'm constantly deep thinking, and I read a lot of new information. I know that in my life, if I can't embrace and absorb all the information, how can anyone absorb all the information? I know there are geniuses out there who remember everything they learn, but that's not necessarily productive either, because our brains are naturally capable of forgetting things that are not necessary. So just to remember to remain humble and have humility and realize that we're all in this together. And don't be threatened by people who speak with a lot of scientific jargon or things you don't understand. I think that if people want to get their points across, we need to put it in a way that's understandable to the masses. But by doing that, you're removing a lot of the terminology and explanations that you want to convey. If you get too complicated and you start talking, if I start talking about life and I start talking about quantum theory and wormholes and stuff, a lot of people just get lost on it and aren't interested. They're not into that type of stuff. So it's an interesting concept, it's an interesting life, and we're all doing the best we can, so hopefully we can work it out together. Peace.